Hi everyone, it is another very beautiful day and welcome to another edition of Insightful Moments. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. Today, I will be looking into something that is so different, but it has to do with the lives and future of our state. Last week, the Governor Ademola Adeleke announced that he was deploying 1,750 members of the Imole Youth Corps into the teaching service, that they will be teaching students across all local governments in schools, most especially at the basic schools. And after that, there were a lot of, criticism from different parties, the APC, even the civil society organization were coming out to say, what exactly was the motive behind this? What exactly is the qualification? Who train these people? How did the governor arrive at this kind of decision? Especially when we all know that for about 18 months now, we have been on the recruitment process for teachers. It started on February 8th, 2024, and that process has not been completed till now. But in a statement by Olawale, the government said the decision was because of the paucity of funds, which the government also attributed to the withheld local government allowances and local government allocations by the federal government. Then some people ask, are we using the local government money to also recruit teachers for senior secondary schools that is under the state government? But the government is saying that presently now, the government is using the fund of the state to pay the local government staff, including those primary school teachers. So when the fund is available, they are going to conclude the process of recruitment. But on social media, the prospective teachers, the applicants have come out to express their frustrations around this process, saying that we have waited for 1.5 years plus. Now you are coming out to say that you are deploying the Imole Youth Corps into teaching. These are some of the things that we have heard. But today, I will be speaking with an expert in that field. I will be speaking with Mr. Olabomi. Mr. Olabomi is the Executive Director of One House Development Initiative. Mr. Olabomi, thank you for having you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jare Tiamiyu. It's a pleasure to be here, actually.
Okay, let me start from here. How acute was the paucity of teachers at the basic school before this recruitment? At the end of the 2024-2025 academic session at schools. I know that your organization has been working in that sector for years now.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Basically, One House Development Initiative has been working in the thematic areas of education, health, and inclusion. And every time we talk about education or health, we try to bring that inclusion to the fore. Because severally we've noticed it happening all around, all over the town, all over the state, all over the country, that when we're thinking about anything, there are some people that are always sidelined. And the disability community happens to be one of such. Now, the government of Osun State gave us 23 special needs teachers for last year, which we are all very grateful for. But the basic thing is...
You mean the recruitment was done last year?
Yes, 23 special needs teachers.
Okay.
And we are very grateful for that, but we need much more than that. That is the basic thing I want to say about that. Now, about the paucity of recruitment, it's actually a very dangerous thing. Let me say that way. I think that is what it is. Now, we believe so strongly that if any community, any state, any organization will grow, will develop, the people must be educated. And when we're talking about education, you're looking at the young upcoming generation, because most of the time, people who you feel are elderly is part of the reason why I'm not expecting personally, I'm not expectant of much from the current crops of leaders that we have, especially at the higher level.
Why?
When a child is born, the environment is what teaches that child what it becomes. And then 90% of the child's brain is formed by the time the child is 5 years old. 90%. Now, nature and nurture comes in. You see a child coming from a place at 5 years old, he can actually say some things that would make a lot of beautiful meaning to everybody. Then you see another child coming from another environment, the best he can do or she can do is basically abuses from some, sorry to say, Yoruba movies. That is showing the nurture of that child. Now, you will find children that are just 9, 10 years old, who are already getting into secondary school. And when they go to write their entrance exams, they are doing very well. They can communicate. They can tell you things. They have traveled. They've gone around. You understand? And when they speak, you know, these children are actually loaded. But you find another 16, 17-year-old person who is a teenager, who is yet to enter into JSS1. And when he or she speaks, you know, this child is lacking. And for somebody in education who also do all sorts of things around education outside the walls of the school, we found that when we put out some games, some children are able to play towards some games while others are not able to do that. For example, now we have, let's say we have chess, we have Ludo, we have Bantumi, what we call Ayolopon. Then we have, let's say Monopoly, we have chess, Scrabble. You will find out that some children will gravitate towards Scrabble and chess. Some will gravitate towards Ludo, Snake and Ladder and all of that. It is dependent on their natures and nurtures. Now, those who are able to go after those mind-disturbing things, let me say it that way, are able to think better, they're able to make better choices, they're able to learn things faster, they are apt to learn. These are the ones that you'll talk, okay, when you say coding and all that, and there is an error. And when we talk about, we have to talk about critical thinking. People say that our courses, the subjects we have in schools don't cover for critical. It's not true. When you talk about mathematics, you talk about physics, you talk about chemistry, these subjects take about the work on critical thinking. We just have to make sure that these things are actually taught. Now, when you go to the secondary schools, I was privileged to go to a federal government college when I was in secondary school. And one thing that was very strong was practicals. Physics, chemistry, biology, fine arts. All this paper mache thing, we did them live and direct in school, technical drawing. Now, coming to the current situation that we have, I'm not sure there are government schools now that have standard laboratories.
And that's a basic thing, you know.
Yes.
I'm not even discussing the computer lab now, just chemistry.
The computer lab is also very, very necessary.
Okay.
Now, I served in Bauchi local government the year that I served, and I was privileged to be to work in a particular school, Baptist Grammar School, Okuta. And they did not have access to computer. And there was one guy there, was a rogue. He was just playing on them, you know, being very funny, collect money for this installation. I did all that. The software on those laptops were not functional. But as the creator would have it, I was able to install 40 computers for them. That was the first school that would have a proper computer lab in the whole of Bauchi local government, Kwara State.
Of Kwara State.
Yes. We had 48. And that was when those students started having computer classes. Now, what a computer will do for you is that it helps you to think. It helps you to navigate.
But even, you know, presently now, the WAEC and NECO, the two exam bodies are trying to go to CBT now.
Next year, I think I will get there.
Yes.
But the question I'm still trying to answer is the concept of the quality of people, the human resources they want to bring in.
Okay, you are talking about the quality of the Imole Youth Corps now.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where I want to answer that question. Now, the basic thing now is the people that you're bringing in to teach these things. You know that there are times you go to some schools and they're teaching you computer appreciation. Then they go to the body, they now start to draw file, inserts, all those tabs on Microsoft where they try to draw it on the board. That is not teaching computer. That's a waste of time. Now, the people that want to come into the schools to teach these things, do they have this capacity? And when you now look at on the portal of the Imole Youth Corps, where people are supposed to apply and get on board for it, there are some things that were put on that page. And those things actually interest me. One of them talks about the criteria, the things that are expected to have on those people. Now, eligibility criteria, one says that, the first one says that they have to be between the ages of 18 and 35.
That's eligibility criteria for the people that applied for Imole Youth Corps. Okay.
18 and 35, no football ages.
Yes.
Now, that is one. Then they have to be residents in Osun State, or they must have been here for a while. And then they can have a local government proof of residency, and then proof of LGA, local government area residency, origin of certificate. Now, they must have a minimum of SSCE. That's O level. Then, O level, the next step is that additional certifications or qualifications would be an advantage. I believe the next level or the basis after SSCE should be NCE. Now, the people that we are now recruiting into those spaces with this criteria, let's say they have these certifications, do they have the necessary training to actually function as teachers? That's one reality we want to face. Now, when this whole thing was put together, it says that the Imole Youth Corps is to cater to health, security, environment, and education. So let's say the educational part is going to function for what we need in Osun State. Let's say it that way. Now, let's now say that they have these certifications, which is fine. Are they trained to function as teachers in the schools? Note, you were talking about the paucity of the recruitment process. The disability community has also complained that there is a percentage, I think about 5% of every recruitment should come to them.
I think that's the Disability Act.
Yes. Yes, you are very right. Now, that thing was stopped, was paused. Let's say like a positive fine. We need teachers in these schools. There are schools now, when we go around to the schools, you will find out that there are some subjects that are not being taken at all.
You know, when you get to schools, you realize that virtually every school has one subject unattended to or the other.
Exactly.
Every school.
Why I was saying that about the development of any nation is that but we now have subjects that are not being taken care of in schools. Then we now have an opportunity to now recruit staff members. Then we now pause it. Are we really working at having a developed society? That's the question there.
But, you know, are you saying that this Imole Youth Corps will not, fill the gap?
Well, I don't want to say yes or a no, because there are several factors involved in that.
Okay.
Now, the first thing that should be done as far as I am concerned, based on what we found on the field, because we move around, and I'm going to talk about what we call free education. I'll talk about it yet. We've done some work around that, and we feel there is something that has to be done. You will find out that the teachers that we need are within our societies. All we need to do is to train the ones we have, recruit more, do retraining, and train the fresh ones, and put them in schools. Several private institutions now, private schools, now leverage on NYSC.
Yes, I think I agree with that.
You understand? I also
even the government is also saying that it's calling for more deployment of NYSC corps members.
I saw that.
It's part of the statement of the government.
And the thing I also thought when I was serving, and where I was, Barrington local government where I served, it was a very close to the border between Nigeria and the Republic. So people used to cry whenever they deployed them to that place, but I enjoyed the place a lot, even though I had to work with several schools. Now, and that is where the issue of capacity for even the people come in. So when we're not talking about let's bring in more people, let us bring in people who are qualified to do the job. On the other side of it is that this Imole Youth Corps now, is it going to cater to the needs that we have in education? Maybe.
That's why I asked that how acute is the shortage.
That was why I did that narration that I did first. We need a lot.
Like how many teachers, if you look at it now, averagely, do you think we'll need, the government started with recruitment of 5,000 teachers.
Okay.
Now you have 1,750. That's about 30-something%, less than 40% of it. Do you think that at this 40% will help us fill the gaps that we have now, especially as they are preparing to commence new session?
Let's be realistic here. When you talk 30%, 40%, it's a big number. So if we're able to get that 30-40%, we should celebrate the government we have.
Okay.
Take note of that. Anywhere, 30-40% is a lot. Now, if we bring in that 30 to 40%, and they are all good hands, and we train them and retrain them and put them in schools, I can tell you they are going to have a very good outcome. I don't know if you've seen the Osun State Plan 2023 to 2050. There are a lot of things written there for education. It's on the, is from page 54 to 60, 58 to 64 thereabout of that plan. Very bulky material. Going through that material, because we have to go through some things. SESEB had not been inaugurated at the time. So it was just TESCOM and all the other ones, State Library Board. We don't know if it still functions, so we intend to visit the place. And you find out that there are lapses that we've had. Then COVID-19 came and increased the effect of that negative reports that we started getting from WAEC and NECO and all of that. If we are going to fill that gap, if we had that 30 to 40%, something good will happen if we have the good hands. I can say that.
Okay.
However, if we bring in the wrong hands, because now there are people who are complaining that they applied on the Imole Youth Corps platform, but they have not received any invitation.
I think the excuse of the commissioner for youth on that, when I spoke with him on that, is that many people do not have internet access to go and check their names on the website. And then he said, according to him, that he sat on the system and he started picking people. The application was digital, but the recruitment process was manual. But, we'll talk on that when we come back from that.
The recruitment is manual.
Yes, according to the commissioner.
Why will it be manual when okay, all right now.
We will discuss more on that when we come from this very short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back from that very short break. My guest has been Mr. Osun Olabomi, the Executive Director of One House Development Initiative. Mr. Osun, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go to the other side of this matter.
Please, before we go, we're talking about digital recruitment.
Yes, I would like you to land on your thoughts. Yes.
It actually sounds very strange because if you do digital recruitment, is it digital recruitment?
Yes, the application was online. Everybody applied online.
Digital application.
Yes.
Then manual recruitment.
Manual recruitment.
That is strange because if it's the commissioner himself that is not going to select people out of 1,750, how long will it take him to do that?
No. He selected 20,000. It's already 10,000 people.
Okay.
From 32,000 applicants.
By himself.
According to him. Yes, by himself. According to him.
Great. And do you think that is realizable? Is that practicable?
That's not a question I can answer. I'm here not to answer questions, I'm to ask.
Great. So that's the reality we need to face.
So now he has, the government has now picked 1,750 from the 10,000 selected by the commissioner.
All right.
So the issue now is that, me looking at this, do you think it is enough to cater for the names and also the capacity of this individual that you were talking about? What do you think the government can do? Because when we are, highlighting to the problems, we should also be providing solutions. So what do you think the government should do? Maybe to help their game. At least they have about 4-5 weeks before the resumption of 2025-2026 academic
There was
session.
a discussion we had.
Okay.
And it was about the recruitment of teachers in Kwara State. We said they've done 2. That's given them how many now? How many people? About 4,000.
Yes, 4,000 plus.
We have been on ours for more than 1.5 years. And we are not done with the first round. So the question there is when we will be done with that one.
The government said when the local government allocation is available.
Okay. So if there is no local government allocation, it means we are going to have to wait and delay our future. There are no other ways to salvage this. Is that what we mean? These are questions we need to provide answers to. Now, the teachers we have are not enough. If we bring in those 1,000, now we have 30 local governments in the state, area offices. Now, all these local governments have schools in them. Now, we need teachers to teach all those schools. Now, there was an idea that came from Oyo State, where teachers are posted to schools within their vicinity. So,
and then that's the same model that the government is applying for the Imole Youth Corps.
We need to apply because it doesn't work for the current crop of teachers that we have.
No, and I took up the spokesperson to the governor, and he said that they are going to ensure that, and I think also Commissioner for Information also said it, that they are going to ensure that this set of people are going to be working from their local government.
It helps them with transportation.
30,000 naira is the monthly stipend that is meant for
30,000 naira.
Yes.
The next question is, can 30,000 naira make anybody commit to the job of developing the next set of leaders we should have in our country? That's enough. So we should think about the issue of actually bringing in teachers that will be trained, that will be rewarded. Note, one of the problems we've had over time is this immigration issue. It will not stop. Economy is bad now, fine, is the reason the immigration slowed down, but it has not stopped. Why will I stay in a place where I will not be rewarded based on the good work that I do? And there's another place that once I pick up that green document called our passport, I can go there and I can achieve what I could not achieve in 30 years here. I can achieve it in less than 5 years. And that's why people keep on going away. So if we're talking about Imole call for education and they're going to be paid 30,000, I promise you it will not work. Because the people too are humans, they need to have the dignity in place. They need to have the normal life. They should have enjoyment of transportation. They should have everything they need around them. But if that is not taken care of, I can bet you that they will take that money. Then they will look for other sources of, okay, how much is a bag of rice now? Over 80,000 naira. You're saying that for somebody to buy a bag of rice, okay, let's say he wants to buy half bag of rice, let's say at 45,000 naira. It means he has to save almost 2 months of his salary without doing anything to buy that half bag of rice. How do you expect such a person to give his best to education? It's not possible. So it brings us back to the reality of the fact that what we need are trained and retrained teachers, not just some core members that are going to be paid some stipends. It won't work.
So, but the government is saying that there is a paucity of funds and the issue of local government allocation. Do you think the government also has excuse in this area?
Every time we talk about excuses, talking leadership now, excuses are just these things that you raise when you do not have the will to get things done. I've always said it time with a number that the day we have a government that is willing to slash the cost of governance by between 60 and 75%, then I'll believe that this government is now willing to work. Now, there are 3 basic areas of our economy that actually touches me personally. Talk about education. It is how we develop the society. Nobody can be in the forums of a class if they're not healthy. If they're healthy, they don't have food, agriculture, nothing happens. Those 3 should be strengthened. If you go through the budget of Osun State now for this one, I think about 55% of it goes to road making.
Yes, we are constructing roads.
We will say that we are doing roads and all of that. That is not the essence of everything.
Don't you think infrastructure is also very important?
It's very important, but it's not more important than education. It is not more important than health. It's not more important than agriculture. Who will use the roads as means of bringing food from the farm to the people if there is no food from the farm? Do you understand? Who will use the road to go to school if there is no education in place? So some of these things are interwoven and interconnected. So as we are solving one, we are solving the other. Now, education has about 14.3% of the budget. Agriculture has about 3.4%. I went through it myself. 3.4% for agriculture. And you're saying that we're doing road 55%. The roads are good, they're excellent, they're futuristic. But while we're doing that, we should not abandon other things that we're doing. Now, if we bring down the cost of governance, really, maybe the state may not be able to handle that.
Are you referring to the money used on travel allowances? And it's like 3.1 billion.
We believe so strongly that is one of it. We believe so strongly, the American government criticized us recently.
Then they said that we spent a lot of money on government palaces or government houses.
They are not necessary. Many of those things that we are spending money on are not going to be used by anybody, not even the people you said that you built them for.
The government.
Yes.
They need to be conducive. You also need to think about that.
They
need to work from a very conducive environment.
Fine, but the people have to suffer while the people in government enjoy. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you that, you have to, as a governor, you have to work from a conducive environment and the people around you.
they can keep on suffering, right? Is that what we're
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
It's not a balanced equation. Let's be realistic.
Okay, let's go to your research on your works on the smart school.
Okay.
And also the girls school, special school for girls.
The alternative
girls school that was commissioned recently.
Well,
let's start from the smart school. Recently, you made headline where you said there are issues in the health school, and then the government came out and said those things are fake.
Yes.
Why are you parading fake reports?
Thank you very much. I want to say conveniently, unequivocally, and formally that report that we gave is totally true and nothing but the truth.
What is in that report?
Now, we went to that UBEC Smart Model School. You know, we work in inclusion, education, health, and inclusion. So anything we do in education has to be inclusive. So we went there and we're told to get back to the to SUBEB that the school was was put together by UBEC, Universal Basic Education, and handed over to that's the federal government, and handed over to the state government through SUBEB. So we had to take permission from SUBEB to get to that school, and we went there. So on getting to the school, related with the leadership there, we had some discussions, talked about things. Then the inclusive part of it, then we found out that the Smart Model School is actually catering to only the deaf cluster of the disability community.
Okay.
That is something we did not know before then. We just heard that it was a special needs school. So we got to find it was not a segregated special needs school. It was a smart school that has a provision for the deaf cluster of the disability community. That is what it is. Now, on getting there, we found out that some of the classrooms, the roofs were out of place. And this was a school that got into play in September 2023.
Okay.
You understand? And 2023 to now is just about 2 years. So when we now have the ceilings out, and while we were there, they showed us a few things, showed us around the school and all of that. Then we saw this projector. It was not in use while we were there. We didn't see any other thing that was smart about it.
Okay.
And the fact that they also need special needs teachers, it was there. The fact that they need the reality of let us find a way to make sure that whatever infrastructure we have here is being maintained. Because for a school that is less than 2 years, that doesn't have what do you call it now? That doesn't have its infrastructure in place. That speaks volumes. However, when you go to several of the other schools around town too, you find out that some of them are dilapidated. You see this one, SUBEB, you see that one, UBEC, you see this one, different kind of setups to bring out the schools. But you see this one doesn't have roof again, the windows of this one are destroyed and all of that. Can we not have, let's say, this is me coining something now, Osun State School Infrastructure Maintenance Agency. This is just me thinking now. Can we not have something like that to run this thing? But when we gave that report and we put it out on our social media, a media house picked it up and they called us. And I guess that because we're told that they called the chairman of SUBEB too, who said that the report was fake according to them.
Okay.
So they reached out and we said, see, when we work, we submit report to SUBEB.
Okay, they have the report before it was published.
They did not have that. We had not released our half-year report at the time.
Okay.
We just gave out the half-year report. That report now, that information is also in that report that we gave to SUBEB recently now, because we served our half-year report for this year.
Okay.
So we normally give SUBEB report of the work that we do. They are one of the stakeholders that we work with. We appreciate that relationship. So when they now said that the man said that the report we gave was fake, said no, it could not have been fake. These are things that we found and we can discuss it. We can defend it anywhere. When we went to the special needs school at Stadium, we wrote some things about it. We pushed it out. You understand? So it's not a thing of ASA or guess. In fact, we worked with a technical working group and we're talking about special needs school in the States. And they said, people were saying that it's 10, even some people from the disability committee said that they had 10 special needs schools. We said, no, that information is not accurate.
How many did you have?
It's 6.
So where are the remaining ones? Where did they get the remaining?
The UBEC Smart Model School that they call the special needs school, talking about being segregated special needs school, is not a segregated special needs school. It's an integrated school. What do we call integrated school? A school for mainstream students that also accommodates special needs students. That's integrated.
Yes.
When you say special needs school, that's segregated. They only caters for the special needs students. So when we talk about special needs school, we have only 6. UBEC is an integrated school. Now there is the Baptist Grammar School in Iwo. Then there's Baptist High School. They are both incorporated. They are both integrated schools. We went there. We had the TV story about it with another TV, another media house, which also reached out to the chairman of SUBEB too, and that story is not yet hard because we want to get the side of the government so it doesn't feel like it is one-sided or whatsoever. We just try to open it up. But the idea is that these schools are integrated. They take care of special needs students alongside with mainstream students, not just segregated. So that's it.
Finally, in less than 30 seconds, I would like you to talk about, the planning. How do you think the government can plan better? And then when you talk about the budget, you say 14 point something percent.
14.3%.
14.3. What about the implementation level? Do you have any report on that?
Yes. We have a challenge on that actually.
Okay.
One of the challenges we have is that the Section 15 of the Child Rights Law 2007 tells us that the government provides free, compulsory, basic education. Now, subsection 3 of that same Section 15 talks about parents and guardians and children handlers to have committed a crime if they do not put their children in school for basic education, which means that it is punishable under the law. The first level of it is community service. The second level actually talks about jail time of not less than 30 days. However, it is hinged on the first part of that section 15 that says the government will provide free compulsory. Now, what we call free is that we are not paying anything. SUBEB tells us that they only take ETL, that is Education Trust Levy, which we think it's understandable, 500 naira. However, we make bold to say that the schools collect fees from the students.
You mean all the schools,
The government schools collect.
all the government schools?
We've gone round.
You have facts to back
We
that.
have gone round. We have children in some of these schools and we pay school fees.
Like how much?
Now, the least we found so far is 3,000.
Okay. The highest is?
There are some that pay as much as 13,000 to 30,008 for first term.
You mean per term?
Per term, first term. Second term will be around 3,800, 4,700, different amounts. But they pay. And when we did this questioning about how it's done, we have some things that we had to get from them. There is a list that they give to every child that comes to school. Apart from the fact that you have to go to the LIE office, get the form, 2,000 naira, fill the form, write an exam, then they put you in the school, then you go and sign your documents at the ZIE's office at Lara. Apart from that, you have a list, you have to buy these hoe, cutlass, buckets, all those things.
You still buy hoes and cutlasses in government schools?
We have some of these lists. We have some of those lists.
No, I'm just asking.
Maybe
they still buy cutlasses and hoes.
They may have shut it down yesterday that we may not have heard.
But as far as the beginning of
this session,
of last session,
yes,
the 2024-2025 session,
those things are still there.
So people see.
Now, we used to have this policy that the last government came with and all of that, and it was repealed. Now, we think, we may not be very accurate on this, but we think that the monies that were put on those students to pay were also not repealed alongside that law. So, we feel that if we are going to reduce the amount of school children that we have in Osun State, let us go back to that section 15 of the Child Rights Law 2007 that says that the government provides free, compulsory, basic education. Free indeed.
There's an issue that I have with that act, but because of our time, I may not be able to raise everything. But one of those things, one of the issues that I have with it is that the law, according to you now, says if the government should provide free and compulsory basic education,
yes,
right? And if a parent refuses to allow his or her child
to be in school,
he or she has committed an offense, right? But if the government refuses to provide
the free
and compulsory education, what is now the offense?
You are not getting my point. It means that we cannot convict anybody of not putting that child in school. That's why I said that if the out of school children in Osun State will reduce indeed,
Mm.
We will now revert back to that same law
So the government must
and
do
give
its
the
own
child his right. Education is not a privilege. It's a right. Give him or her, or give them their right to education, free education. See, there are people, now we give sponsorship to some students who are in basic schools. We would not need to give any sponsorship to any child if that law is being followed to the letter. So if we're going to reduce the number of out-of-school children in Osun State, let's make our free education free indeed, so that the child that does not even have any parent on the street can walk into a school and actually enjoy basic education, which is his right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tubos Olabomi. Mr. Olabomi is the executive director of One House Development Initiative. And you can see, if we want to get it right, we have to start from ensuring that the children have basic education, quality one. And you also said the government must play its part before we start blaming the parents. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And on that note, once again, thank you for being part of today's show. You can see that we have a lot of things to say. We have a lot of issues, but we believe that before the next session commences, some of those things that you have said, maybe we'll have to sit down and also, look at what the government should do. Maybe we can have an agenda for the government as we go into new session. Thank you for being part of today's show. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. Bye for now.